All right, 99.9 Punk World Radio FM. We got a very special afternoon interview for you guys here this afternoon on the radio station airwaves. We are joined by the Netherlands' finest. That's right. We got Question Mark right here live on the radio station airwaves, and of course Facebook and YouTube as well. Guys, Martin, Dave, Tom, how are you guys doing out there in the Netherlands this afternoon?
Yeah, we're doing great actually. Preparing for tour. Release our album in January, so all's going well, actually.
I gotta say, it's absolutely phenomenal. I'm glad to hear such an amazing band like yourself is actually getting out there on the road and going on tour. Since we actually are on the topic of that right quick, what cities are you guys hitting? And of course, where can we actually snag ourselves some last-minute tickets? Because obviously the tour starts tomorrow. So if there is indeed some tickets still available, where can we actually snag ourselves some last-minute ticket stubs?
We're playing in Balingen tomorrow in Germany, in the Black Forest. So we're with Allah Akbar and Dust and Bones, rock metal orientated bands actually, who show last minute actually. So we get to play 45 minutes there. I think there's entrance fee of, I think it's €6. I think there's still some tickets available, but the event actually had a really good response. So that's all really looking good so far. And the day after that, we're in Bergamo, Italy. Actually, both of our shows this weekend will be there. One is at Joe Koala, which is an awesome place in the center of the city. The other one is at Music Activa, and I think it's on the other side of the city. We're playing with two local legends, actually, Crunchy Croc from Bergamo, which are like a punk rock band, classic punk rock, local heroes, and Miners, an oi band, real working class guys who are actually miners, which is cool. I think the Sunday show is free. I think there's a small entry fee at the Joe Koala show, but I think that will be quite a busy show actually, because the band that's local there doesn't play there that often, so that will be really cool.
And also as well, obviously, like going back to the very beginning of Question Mark, I have to ask, how did you guys actually come together as one to form this band? Because you guys are such a phenomenal band. Your chemistry shows through your guys' music. You guys make some absolutely amazing music that I feel not only resonates with individuals and fans in the Netherlands, but of course fans all over the world as well, including right here in the Great White North of Canada.
Yeah, so Martin and I, including Timo, go way back. I think 15 plus years by now. Started playing music. Martin and I started playing the drums, and made our way to the guitar and the bass. And Timo joined us later, so we formed a band named I Own You Nothing, with the three of us and some other people who came and went. We went on as Question Mark. And then we had a pretty long break actually. But after a while, it started to itch, like we want to play again. So we started writing songs, mostly Martin, and made our first album, Inner Call, with our previous bassist. And now we have Tom, who actually fits in really well. He learned all the songs within, I think, 1 or 2 months, maybe.
Yeah, approximately.
And he played his own part in the second album, Desolation. So
and actually, before we had Tom, we were like in a situation where the last bass player quit, and we were putting out an ad actually to get a new bass player. And our country is not really famous for having a lot of punk bass players or good punk bass players. So we were actually overwhelmed with some reactions. We actually had auditions. We had people come in to play, and then Tom came in, and we were all just like, "Yeah, this is the guy. This is the guy who fits our music and understands the music." And he was stoked about it. So we were really happy to continue. And we already had like a lot of songs ready for the album. So Tom came in and wrote his own parts, added to the songs, and pretty soon we started talking about recording already. So that was nice actually.
And also as well, the very first record that you guys actually put out was June 29th, my apologies, of 2019, where you guys actually released a 15-track album titled Inner Call that was actually released by No Compromise Recordings. I was wondering if you could actually just tell us the story behind this earlier released album. And of course, is it actually still out there to be streamed or purchased today if the question mark fans have not had the opportunity to listen to this amazing record?
Yeah, Inner Call was actually the first full length in this incarnation of the band, because as Dave mentioned before, we played together like years before that when we were teens, but this was like the real serious attempt to get the music that we want to play out. We were planning to just go out, release that record, play a lot of shows. We played with Mute, an amazing Canadian band, of course. We did quite a few shows and festivals, but when we were just getting started with Inner Call, actually COVID happened, so we didn't really play a lot of shows on the record. So the record is actually still available, even in CD version, but definitely on every streaming platform, I think. But that was cool. We wrote a lot of songs. Some songs actually existed before the band that I wrote in a time where I had skate punk songs, but no band for it. So these actually came to live on that record as well. Yeah, we were really stoked about that. Got good reactions, reviews from all over Europe. But as I mentioned before, after COVID, the record was like 3-4 years old. So we really had to do something new. So when Tom was in the band, we were really happy to get moving again, start playing shows, played with some international bands. So that's where the second record really comes into play.
We've lost our interviewer. So do you enjoy being in the band, Tom?
Yeah, I do enjoy playing in the band.
There we go.
Yeah, we're back. Cool.
Yeah,
My apologies on that. We just had a complete, never had that actually happen in any of my interviews I did, so it looks like we just had a complete outage there for a minute. But I don't know if you guys were still live and talking, but
I think so, yeah.
I gotta say, hopefully the individuals that were watching actually did. I know my computer screen just completely went, and it said "off snap," so the off snap is never good. They try and make it, the computer tries to make it seem like it's being nice, but it's just, in a way, it's not being nice, man. Off snap is not good when you see that on Google Chrome. But aside from that hiccup, guys, I do know as well that you guys actually released a phenomenal live project in 2020, where you guys actually released the track Evil Intent, that if I'm not mistaken, it was actually a live performance from Proving Grounds 2. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about the show at Proving Grounds, and of course, what all actually went into capturing this amazing live performance, and of course, what actually made you guys decide to release it as a digital single as well.
At that point, we were like in the middle of the COVID pandemic, and there was a guy I knew who was putting up a streaming concert like it was a big festival. So what he was doing, he actually went to a venue. He followed restrictions and he asked the venue, can we do 3 days of streaming bands live at the venue, which actually played on stage in the venue, but without a crowd. So in reality, we were playing to the crew of the venue, which was actually pretty cool because the crew liked our music. So that was like having a live crowd even in the streaming area, so to say. And then it was a bit like we have a lot of new songs written and we wanted to show something. So we chose that song because it was one of the best songs out of the set, I think. And it was one of the 4 new songs that we played that night, because I think we played 45 minutes or something like that. So that was pretty cool. People could actually watch that live. It was on video as well. And it was, to let people know that we're still out there, that we're still a band. But it was really good to do that in that moment.
And I heard as well, me personally, obviously I'm not a musician, I'm just a DJ and a radio personality, but I went to concerts during the COVID-19 pandemic, and it was such a weird time for, even as just fans of music, man, like everyone in the crowd wearing hospital masks, and it's so hard to rock out and get into a mosh pit when, you wear glasses and a hospital mask, so you can't really, you're in a mosh pit, you can't see nothing because the hospital mask is fogging up your glasses. It was such a weird time to even go to concerts, man, because you didn't know if you're going to go see your favorite band and then die next week. You really didn't know.
Yeah, that was strange indeed. But yeah, the live recording came in handy because then we could also put something on Spotify and really present something to our audience, of course, because back then, yeah, you didn't know when there was going to be another live show soon. So, and eventually I think it took us after that 2 years before we started playing live again. But that was because the bass player quit and then Tom came to the band. So we had to get accustomed, play in, learn the songs, of course. And then, yeah, then we were good to go.
And since Tom has joined the band, you guys have actually did some amazing things, and your band is continually growing nonstop. Like as we talked about the beginning of the broadcast, you guys are actually getting gearing up to leave on tour tomorrow morning. Also, you guys actually inked a record deal not too long ago with Violent Weather Records. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about the story behind that record deal, and of course, like, how did you guys ultimately get discovered by them? Because their roster is absolutely phenomenal and stacked with so many other amazing bands, just like yourselves.
Yeah, that was a cool story, actually. We were working on the record, of course. We recorded it at my studio together, so we pretty much did it ourselves. I'm an audio engineer myself, so it was like a self-produced record. Our other guitar player, who's not here today, is also part of the production team, so critical thinking and listening, of course. And then we decided we wanted to take one step further for the production. So we actually contacted the blasting room, like the guys who did Rise Against, No Use, you name them, they've done them. And we let them master our record. So we wanted to have the record mastered by the best. So Jason Livermore was obviously the guy for us to do it. Like Good Riddance, No Use are bands that we love. So he mastered that. So it was quite an easy choice, actually. And we thought it like this: we're gonna approach record labels with a really great production. We're gonna just get it mastered, have a final product, and say to these labels, "This is what we're gonna do." So we had our Italian label, Gazzama Studio, who wanted to support us, and then we got a message from Violent Weather Records, and we talked for a bit with Louis, and Louis was like really stoked and. He really wanted to do the record with us because I showed him some songs. I sent him like 3 demo songs to listen to, and he was like, yeah, this really fits the profile of the record label, because he exclusively wanted to do fast skate punk, like really melodic, like create a specific area where the Violent Weather sound would then be. And at that point, I think he had Still Gonna Bill, Burning Harbor, and maybe, no, I think that's it. I think we were like the 3rd band on the roster. We were pretty early on. And then after that, he came up with like great bands like Bitter. I think you're interviewing them as well. And you had all 6 who you spoke to. I saw the interview, actually. It was cool.
Fastlane, going on tour in April?
Yep, Fastlane. Yeah, exactly. We're playing 2 shows with them, so I think that's actually the first Violent Weather Records show with 2 bands on the label playing together. We also talked to Baxter about the show in Mannheim, but they couldn't make it for that date because it was the date that we're playing tomorrow, so that was a little bit short notice. But that's really cool. We have great contacts with the bands, with the label. Yeah, it's been really good to us because I think if I remember correctly, the most Spotify listeners, top 3 were Canada, Australia, and the United States at this moment, which is like awesome because then we get the music in a spot where a lot of people listen to punk rock as well. So that's a win-win.
And that's the one thing as well I love the most about punk rock and the punk rock community. You know, I've listened. I'm a DJ. I listen to all different genres of music. But the one thing I notice the most about punk rock is just how everybody comes together. Like it's like even if a band is in Australia or Canada or the U.S., it's almost like one giant community where you all help each other out. And that's the one thing I love about punk rock. It's just the solitude, the brotherhood that all these bands have. That's the one thing I love about punk rock, man. Everyone wants to help one another. You don't see that in any other genre of music, in my honest opinion. Like, if you do that in, like, hip-hop, it's so cutthroat. In other genres, it's cutthroat. But punk rock, it's like, let's help each other and let's all grow together, man. That's the one thing I love about punk rock the most.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, good community, yeah, and good music. So yeah, I really like the audience at punk rock shows. Most of the time, the good vibes, and also yeah, just going for it in the pit, like yeah,
it's the energy mostly.
energy. Yeah,
I mean, in punk rock, it's inclusive. Everybody has his place. Everybody supports each other. At least that's the idea, of course. Punk rock is not competition. And yeah, as Dave said, the music is also really interesting. I mean, there's all kind of corners in punk rock, so I think there's something for everyone there, even with like mixed genres like ska punk or hardcore punk, surf punk, whatever. Yeah, for me, it's also something I really enjoy playing on stage. I think through the years, I played like any genre on stage, which includes instruments somewhat. But I really come back to everything punk related because I really love the energy and like giving it your all and sweating it out and just showing people, yeah, this is just pure. It's just energy and being really convinced of what you're playing and having that resonate with people is like the best thing about playing punk rock live to me, actually.
And also as well, January 15th of 2024, you guys actually released your most recent brand new 15-track album. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us the story and inspiration behind this brand new record of yours, and of course, are there any hard copies available? That way our listeners can secure themselves a record or a CD if you guys do indeed have any available to be purchased.
yeah. So yeah, Desolation. Most of the songs were written during COVID, actually. Some older than others. Tom has the hard copy with him, as you can see. Yeah, so we are also kind of a do-it-yourself band, which can be a falco.
Yeah, it can be like a little fallacy because
Yeah,
I think what he means is like we all try to do things ourselves. Like Dave made the artwork, he actually designed all of that. I did most of the engineering, of course, as we spoke on before, and the songwriting. We're like the main songwriters. So he writes songs for the album, I write songs, and then we come together and figure out which ones are the best. And then Tom and Timo add their thing to it. So in the pre-production as well, we really did everything ourselves. Like, well, most bands like attract producers, graphic designers, whatnot. We have a tendency to do it ourselves. So that's actually what happens with the record. Maybe that's cool. Combined with the themes in the tracks and of course the title Desolation. So we did the CD now to have the physical release as well. We really wanted to do vinyl, but at this point that was really expensive and a little bit too late if we wanted to do it before the release date. Oh, I gaat het eruit.
Gaat hij weer?
no, two
Yeah.
times in a row.
Okay. But yeah, Desolation was really coming together, like 15 songs that we wrote, themes that are personal on some points. Some of the themes are like more critical of society and a little bit trying to get people to think like punk rock tends to do. I mean, for myself, lyrically, when I was like 15 years old, I heard Good Riddance, and he had a lyric that said like, "You're now a number, you're no longer got a face," was something that really made me think like, what's my place in this world? What do I want? Are my choices, or what other people want from me, of course. So there's parts of that in the record as well. If you listen to the lyrics, it's like questioning things and maybe getting somebody to think about stuff, and that resonates through the music as well, I think, because on my part, I always write lyrics, and then the music comes with the lyrics, so to say. And Dave does it the total opposite way. He writes a song, and then we pick a lyric that fits the like atmosphere of the song or the feel or whatever. So that's where Desolation came from, and I think these were the best songs we had at this moment. And yeah, I think we feel they really connect as well. So we put a lot of work in the track order and which song to go first, which singles to go first, and all that. So that's what became Desolation, and most people have been like really positive and responsive to the songs and the record. So maybe at some point we can do a vinyl, but at least now we have the CDs. We sell them on all our shows. You can get them through a Bandcamp. And there's also a possibility to buy it from our Italian label through Bandcamp, actually.
We also sent them to people. So we have sent one copy to Costa Rica. Took a month, but it got there. So yeah, if people really want the hard copy with
Always
the artwork,
possible.
it is possible. You can DM.
We ship worldwide.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And also as well, the creative process actually behind this. I read that this record was also mastered by Jason Livermore of the Blasting Room. I was wondering if you could tell us a bit more about working with Jason. And of course, how did you guys ultimately get connected with Jason? Because I got to say, he does amazing work on all the projects that he actually produces.
Yeah, that's a nice story, actually. Timo and I were looking around for mastering. We had some options in Europe, and we had test masters here as well. But we weren't really satisfied because they really tended to change the mix and not really make it better, actually. And then I was like, yeah, maybe we should just go for it and contact the Blasting Room and see what they can do and what their prices are. And we thought, well, they're the biggest guys in the genre, so it would be pretty expensive. But the guy in Europe was actually more expensive, and then we could actually get the Blasting Room. So I sent them an email, and I got a response from Bill, who's like my favorite drummer ever. So I was a little starstruck that Bill Stevenson just sent me an email. And he was like, yeah, we can do that. But we had a little bit of an unusual thing. We wanted to do a test master, and they never get that. But the reason I wanted to do that is because it was recorded in my studio, and most of the things that the Blasting Room does are actually recorded at the Blasting Room. So I wanted to make sure that my studio, my mix would work with the Blasting Room, of course. So they were really cool about that, and they were like, yeah, we can do that. And if you're happy, we can adjust it until you're happy. And then we can do the whole record if you want. So we had some mail traffic about that, and we got test masters from them, and they asked really nice and direct questions like, what do you want, what do you like in the record, what's the thing you expect from us? And they were really great to work with. It was like one of the easiest experiences I have ever had with an audio professional, actually. And they're the nicest guys, so they actually mastered the record in 2 days, I think, which is like ridiculously quick. We sent them the files, and it was night over there. I think 2 days later they were on our inbox, and we were like, yeah, that's what we actually wanted from a master. We wanted to keep our mix intact, but we wanted to shine even brighter and be like better with the Blasting Room sauce, of course, the sense of professionality that takes you to the next level. So that's been really cool, and also for ourselves to work with guys like that. I mean, I was a little starstruck.
And also, aside from obviously this amazing record you guys are currently promoting, and the fact that you got amazing CDs that are available that honestly ship worldwide, so Canadian listeners, the music's been playing on our station. Make sure you hit them up, buy yourselves a CD. And I have to ask, but aside from all that, what is next for Question Mark? Like, is there anything we happen to miss during this afternoon, or in your guys' case, this evening's interview? If so, could you tell us a bit more, if there is anything else that you guys still want to touch on, talk about, or promote?
Yeah, I think apart from the album, we also made a music video. So that's it's released through the what's it called?
Dying Scene and Punk Rock Radio.
Scene and so it's on their YouTube actually, but you can find the link on our Instagram page. It's for the song "Blow the Clown." Also one of the newer tracks. I think we really missed a music video to begin with, because we had songs, 2 albums now. But no real footage where you can actually see us playing. Also a DIY project. We filmed it ourselves, and Timothy and I edited the clip and the music video, and we got some help with promoting it and releasing it. So yeah, you can check that out as well. And I think the plans for now are trying to play as much as we can and still writing songs along the way. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, I think I personally already have like 12 songs for the new album, so that's a lot. Then again, we're playing quite some shows, playing with Fastlane, as mentioned before, which is cool, 2 shows in a row. And then in September, we're also going to go to Germany and Switzerland, which is awesome. So there's going to be a second weekender that I actually arranged through arranging this first weekender. So we try to go abroad, play some shows in our own country as well. So that's what's on the horizon so far. Dave is actually becoming a dad this May, so we're gonna have a little break on live shows there. But after that, we'll be back.
Congratulations, Dave.
Thanks. Yeah, so it's gonna be, I think, maybe a month of downtime. But we've got a thing going now, so yeah, I like to keep it that way. But yeah, family is also important, of course. But, so I think after 1 month break we will be coming back.
If he has the energy again, because I don't know if you saw anything of our videos, but he's our drummer and lead singer, so he has to be like in some shape to do our live shows. So I think the first month will be a little no-fly zone unless we get like that one great show to play or something. Then maybe we can get an exception or some energy boosters for this guy. But
maybe Canada or something. Yeah, you never know.
Hey man, we got Tim Hortons down here, man. It's a huge famous coffee shop, so I mean the coffee will only help for a little bit of time before you actually really do need some sleep. But the coffee down here is definitely hot, so and we'll keep a fresh pot brewing for you. That way we can get you some energy before we get you on stage down here in Canada, man.
Cool.
Awesome.
But before we part ways here today, guys, obviously I know how to follow across all social media platforms, but for the individuals here in Canada and listening all across the world that might just be discovering you guys right now, how do we go about following you across all social media platforms? That way we can stay updated on not only this brand new album that's already out, but the one that you guys are currently working on, and of course this extravagant, amazing tour you guys are currently about to venture on.
You can find us on pretty much any platform, !skatepunk. So it's on Instagram, it's on Facebook. We have a separate Bandcamp site, which is like our own little shop, which is !3, like in the number 3, .bandcamp.com. That's where you can stay up to date with pretty much anything we'll do. And of course, get your physical copy. If you want to listen to our music, pretty much any streaming service is available. We also added future services when we uploaded it, so if there's anything new on the horizon, it will probably feature Desolation at some point. Check that out. Let us know what you think of the songs, because we're really proud of them, worked really hard for them, and then, it's always nice to hear from people what they think of the songs. And of course, we'll play them live at all our shows.
Never happened before.
Yeah.
Now 3 times in a row.
That's bad luck.
Yeah.
I think he's coming back. There we go.
Maybe it's our...
But yeah, definitely, guys. I greatly, first and foremost, I got to say, I greatly appreciate your guys' time. My apologies on these couple hiccups that my system is totally having on this end. You know, I mean, I'm trying to not make it obvious, but that one was completely obvious. But my apologies on the technical issues on my end, but thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for sharing these amazing stories that you guys are actually doing so far. I'm really hope you guys have amazing travels on this up-and-coming tour, and definitely safe travels, and we hopefully down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon when your new album does hit the shelves, when it does actually get completed and flying out on the shelves. And again, Dave, congratulations on the new Bundle of Joy, man.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, man.
Thanks.
Hey, you're most certainly welcome, guys. Definitely have yourselves a wonderful night. And, of course, definitely rest up for that tour, man. And tear the roof off those venues.
Yeah.
We'll do.
We'll go. See you later.
Thank you so much, guys.
Bye-bye.